The director of ABC News, Gavin Morris, says the public broadcaster has been careful not to compromise national security when publishing the cabinet files. Overnight, Australia's spy agency ASIO entered the ABC's offices at Parliament House and in Brisbane to secure the classified documents obtained by the ABC. Political reporter Matthew Doran has more from Parliament House in Canberra.
We were just working away here in the ABC's Parliament House Bureau when we got notification that we may receive a visit from officers from the domestic spy agency ASIO, who were going to bring with them a safe in which these documents, these leaked leaked documents were to be put inside and secured until further notice. So just after 1 o'clock last night Canberra time, and in Brisbane at our offices at South Bank there, just after midnight local time there, the ASIO officers arrived and delivered the safe, and the documents were indeed locked away. This intervention by ASIO really does show how serious the intelligence agencies are taking this national security breach. The remarkable story behind it about how these thousands of classified and top secret documents were found in 2 locked filing cabinets at an ex-government furniture shop in Canberra, purchased by an individual. That curious customer has then prized them open and found this remarkable trove of documents inside, which go to the inner workings of 5 successive governments over the space of about a decade. So that safe now is in pride of place in the ABC's Parliament House Bureau, and for the time being, the documents are locked away.
And so what happens to those documents now?
So lawyers for the ABC are still negotiating with lawyers for the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet as to where to from here. We know that PM&C launched an urgent investigation into this situation within an hour of yesterday's publication of these details. So that investigation is ongoing, and there will be further talks between both sides of this incident throughout the day. Of course, now ASIO is also involved. We understand that at this stage the Australian Federal Police have not been brought in, but it is important to point out that the safe remains on ABC premises, that we do still have possession of these documents. We haven't handed anything over at this stage. It's also important to note that some of the documents that are contained in the cabinet files have not been released because they do relate to sensitive national security issues, and the active decision has been made by the public broadcaster not to put those details out into the public domain, merely to speak more generally about the nature of those papers rather than the actual subject or content of those documents. The ABC's Director of News, Gavin Morris, says the next step for the public broadcaster is to work with those investigating just how these documents ever made it into the public domain.
The government clearly needs to work through those issues, particularly within the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet, and that's for them. But the important thing for us is to ensure that if we can be cooperative now in securing the documents, ensuring there is no risk to national security or anything like that, that we want to be as active as we can possibly be in doing so.
Gavin Morris there. And Matthew, Kevin Rudd was the subject of one of the stories as a result of these documents in the last couple of days. What's he done this morning?
Kevin Rudd has said that he is launching legal proceedings against the ABC based on some of this reporting. Now, yesterday we reported on the fact that within these cabinet files was a document from back in 2009, a document written by the Department of Environment raising some concerns about the rollout of the home insulation scheme, a scheme that has been widely criticised and the subject of a royal commission. In reporting those documents, the ABC said that this warning suggested there were risks associated with the program, but the ABC did state in that reporting that it did not know whether or not they were safety risks. Kevin Rudd has issued a statement this morning saying that any allegations that he ignored safety advice for home insulation installers is an outright lie, and he says that this warning related to financial and administrative risks to the program, not safety risks to any workers. He says the ABC was told of these facts before publications, and for those reasons he has commenced legal proceedings against the ABC. So seeing as that is now the subject of a potential court case, there's not much more to say about that matter, but they are the facts of the case, and it shows how sensitive this release of very classified documents has been and will continue to be in the coming weeks and months.